Hey everyone, let's talk about the G-Wagon. That's right, my all-time favorite ride, but now it's going electric. Yeah, we all know electric is where the future's at, but man, the classic gas G-Wagon is a legend that's hard to forget. Remember that satisfying clunk of the doors? And that V8 engine roar when it starts up? Unbeatable. So, what's next for the G-Wagon? Will the die-hard G-fans welcome the electric version with open arms? And here's the big question, will Mercedes keep making the gas-powered G-Wagon? Kind of like how they've kept this beast rolling since World War II. Today, we're taking a journey through the revolution of G-Wagon and discussing everything we know so far about the new electric version. Alright, let's dive into the world of the first-gen G-Class, the one from way back in 79 to 89. It's 1975, and Mercedes rolled out this pre-production model. It's the blueprint for what the G-Class is now. A standout in the cross-country scene, Mercedes was all about crafting a ride that gave drivers a clear view and could weave through the forest like a pro. With its straight lines and sleek surfaces, this off-roader was a head-turner right from the start. Now, the first G-Class lineup was super versatile. We're talking about a short wheelbase convertible, a station wagon, and even a panel van with both short and long wheelbases. Engine choices were plenty. There was the 240GD, a 4-cylinder with 72 horsepower, the 300GD, a 5-cylinder diesel beast with 88 horsepower, the 280G, a 6-cylinder petrol engine with a solid 150 horsepower, and the 230G, a 4-cylinder petrol engine which came in either 100 horsepower or 90 horsepower. In 81, the G-Class got a fantastic upgrade, air conditioning, and in 82 they swapped the 2.3-litre engine for something more advanced, a fuel-injected powerhouse. The G-Class was evolving from a purely cross-country vehicle into something that felt just as dynamic on the streets. In 1989, the Frankfurt Auto Show is where the G-Class showed off its new look. Celebrating its 10th anniversary, they called it the W463. What's new? A snazzy interior makeover with fresh paneling and a dashboard that's all about style. The rear seats are comfier than ever, and let's not forget about the classy touch of wood trim inside. This revamped G-Class wasn't just about looks. It packed a standard 4-wheel drive system paired with a beefy 170 horsepower engine. In 93, Mercedes dropped a special edition, only 500 of these babies. I'm talking about the 8-cylinder 500GE, cranking out a solid 241 horsepower. But there's more. They switched up the model names around this time. Now a 3-digit number comes before the G. Got a fuel injection system? Add an E. Diesel engine? That's a D for you. And that's when it officially got the name G-Class. 2 decades after the first G-Wagon hit the scene, Mercedes decided it was high time to bring the G-Class to the US. In 2002, they did just that, but with a twist. They brought in a beefier version with a solid V8 engine. Here's the cool part, we got 2 versions of the V8. First up, the G55 AMG is an absolute powerhouse with 349 horsepower. Then there's the G500, a slightly more subdued but still impressive with 292 horsepower. Fast forward to 2004, and the G55 AMG is still around, but it's got a 5.5-litre V8 that breathes new life into the SUV. Now we're talking 469 horsepower and 516 pound-force-foot of torque. This beast could hit a top speed of 131 miles per hour. The G55 AMG's second generation was like a revival for the series. In early 2013, Mercedes dropped something mind-blowing, the G63 AMG 6x6. 18.1 inches of ground clearance riding on 37-inch tires. This thing was both hot and heavy. Its V8 churned out a whopping 544 horsepower, perfectly balancing the truck's 8,500 pounds curb weight. The production stayed the same except for the G65, which later swapped the V8 for a massive V12. The latest chapter of the G-Class story, the 4th generation, starting from 2017 to now, kicked off with a bang at the Geneva Auto Show, when Mercedes-Maybach unveiled the G650 Launderette. Talk about exclusive! They only made 99 of these as a nod to the original G-Wagon from 79, and the price tag was a jaw-dropping $780,000 plus, making it one of the priciest SUVs out there. But what's under the hood? A monster twin-charged V12 pumping out 621 horsepower. The G650 Launderette was both about off-road prowess and first-class luxury. In 2018, the G-Class went through its biggest makeover yet. They refined the W463 into something more user-friendly and polished. It's got a 4-liter twin-turbo V8, but they kept those classic specs to prove a point. You can revolutionize the SUV experience without ditching the iconic design. Mercedes-Benz has been upping its game with each new G-Wagon, appealing to different kinds of customers and ruling the segment. From a tough G-Wagon to a luxurious off-roader, innovation has always been their game. And guess what? The G-Class isn't just resting on its laurels, it's moving towards a future where it's more sustainable than ever. With plans for zero emissions, the newest G-Class is set to be an eco-friendly powerhouse. Mercedes showed off the concept EQG in Munich back in September 2021, and now they're planning to roll out a production version by 2025. The million-dollar question: what will they call the electric G-Class? Well, it's a bit of a mystery right now. EQG seems like a solid guess. Mercedes has been slapping the EQ tag on its electric vehicles, and they introduced the concept as the Concept EQG. They even filed for trademarks in Europe for EQG 560 and EQG 580, so it looks like they're leaning in that direction. Another theory is that Mercedes will ditch the EQ branding starting in 2024. They're considering turning G into a sub-brand, maybe even introducing a smaller G crossover. So there's a chance the new electric SUV might get a totally different name. First, the EQG isn't precisely the first of its kind for electric G-Wagons. Believe it or not, there's already been an electric G-Class out there. In 2017, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator himself, dropped $1 million on a custom electric converted Mercedes G-Class. The project came to life thanks to the Austrian tuners at Kreisel Electric. Now, about the EQG. Mercedes has spilled the beans that this electric beast will be based on the good old combustion G-Class. We're talking about a modified version of the classic steel ladder frame chassis. Emmerich Schiller, the boss of the new G sub-brand, had an interesting way to describe it to Autocar. He called it two skateboards with the same hat on top. So, what can we expect? The EQG will likely sport a unique front bumper and an illuminated black panel instead of a grille, just like the other EQ vehicles. Mercedes is going all out with the EQG's power setup. We're talking a quad-motor system. That's 4 motors. Each one can handle both high and low-range gearing. Imagine this, the motors can mimic 3 locking differentials and even send all the power to just one wheel if needed. That's some serious control and flexibility. Plus, the way they've packed the motors at the front will give the EQG a tighter turn radius than its combustion counterparts. Now, about the power and range. Mercedes is keeping the details under wraps for now, but it's safe to bet that at least one version of the EQG will be on par with the G63 regarding off-road chops and top speed. And here's where it gets fascinating: the battery tech. Mercedes is teaming up with American firm Silla to bring next-gen batteries to the G-Wagon. These silicon anode chemistry batteries are something else. They promise a 20 to 40% boost in energy density. What does that mean? Either you get the same range with a smaller battery, or more range with a battery of the same size. That's huge! Now, let's talk about the tank turn, or as Mercedes calls it, the G-turn. Picture this, the EQG spinning 360 degrees right on the spot. It's like something out of a movie, and it's all controlled through steering and wheel pedals. Mercedes even released a video showing off this cool maneuver. Remember Rivian? They planned something similar for their off-roaders but had to scrap it over concerns about environmental damage. Now, onto another iconic feature, the rear-mounted spare wheel. You usually see this on rugged, body-on-frame off-roaders like the Ford Bronco, Jeep Wrangler, and of course, the current G-Class. But the Concept EQG ditched the spare wheel. Instead, it sports a lockable storage box at the back. This isn't just for looks, it's a practical spot to stash your charging cable. But hold on, there is a catch. A prototype spotted in a Mercedes video was rocking a functional spare tire, so it seems like they're still playing around with ideas. So, when's the EQG rolling out? Despite the futuristic vibes of the Concept EQG, we're not looking too far into the future here. Motor Trend has confirmed that Mercedes plans to start building the EQG in 2024. It could be as early 2024. If that's the case, we're looking at the EQG being a 2025 model year vehicle in the US. Now, the big question: how much will this electric G-Wagon set you back? Mercedes is keeping the price tag under wraps for now, but let's talk numbers. The current G-Wagon costs around $139,900 for the base model, and the AMG G63 is about $179,000. Car and Driver is guessing the EQG will kick off around $150,000. But don't be surprised if it costs quite a bit more. Fans of the G-Wagon, we don't need reasons to love it. It's more than a car. It's got a tough vibe that suits guys, and it's equally striking when a lady's behind the wheel. A ride that suits everyone. I'm totally in love with this car, and I bet other G-Wagon enthusiasts will love it too, no matter what. Electric or gas, it's always going to be our G-Wagon. But what are your thoughts on the electric G-Wagon? Let me know in the comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe so you get all the exciting content I send your way.